As the rain lashes down at Gander Green Lane, we're talking to Harry Wheeler after the Saints have gone down to their heaviest defeat here for 53 years. And your views, Harry, on that 5-0 defeat?
My main thought is for the fans, and that's what I feel sorry for, mainly. And I'm thinking that after about 75 minutes when the game's clearly done, I'm thinking how brilliant they are and how much we've let them down. But my thoughts are, and last week I took responsibility and I said, tactically for the first part, and then we changed it and we got the draw as we would. I couldn't have given the players any more info on them and any way they were going to score their goals before the game today. We trained on the pitch Thursday, we went through it. The first goal they score, the second goal they score is exactly what we worked on defending on Thursday. So in terms of, I would take responsibility, and we're part of it together. And there'll be things that obviously we could do better, but at the same time, if you go and ask the players in there, and Lee Chatwell, captain, and that said, we've let them down. We said, our fault as players, we've let them down. Because they weren't at the races, the things we told them, that the way they'd play and the things they'd do beforehand, they exactly did it. Did everything that we thought they'd do. And we didn't prevent it on the pitch. My job's to give them the info and the tools of what we need to do to beat them or to prevent losing the game. We did that as a staff. We all worked really hard in the week. We did that as a staff. They didn't execute it well enough, and that's what you get, because they're a very, very good side. They are where they are for a reason. The table doesn't lie in both ways. And we knew earlier in the week, if you didn't do what we were working on for us to do, that would happen.
But they are flying at the moment, Sutton, there's no two ways about it, and you did briefly give them credit there. They did look lethal. They could have had more. The way they just sliced through us, they're going to take some stopping in this form.
Oh, clinical. And speaking to their manager beforehand, and just looking at them, watching them warm up, watching their atmosphere, they're well run. They're well run as a team and as a club, and they're very, very clinical. And don't get me wrong, the reason that's what I'm saying to you is that's why we worked so hard in the week, and I knew what they'd do. I watched all the last 5 games I've watched of theirs, and we knew we had them watched here Monday. They did exactly what we said, and that's what they can do. If you don't do your homework on them and then execute it on the pitch, that's what will happen, and that's what happened to a lot of teams if they don't do your job on them. We didn't do our job on them on the field. We did it off it. We didn't do it on it, and the scoreline is justified in my opinion.
It could have been worse, no doubt about that. But in that first 10 minutes, they got a goal. A minute later, we maybe should have equalised. Harry Crawford hit with woodwork. He had another goal shortly after that, disallowed for offside. And we were giving them problems. All throughout the games, we did cause them a few problems, but it's just at the other end, they were just slicing us open.
Yeah, and if I criticise them anywhere, defensively, I don't think they look great. I think Eversley still ran away with it for a reason, that they're good at both ends. Whereas Whitehawk and Sutton are very good going forward. Defensively average. Harry, the one that he's hit the post with a little bit, I think it's nearly. He's saying it's nearly off the pitch. So he's having a shot, but he's trying to keep it on. He said it's literally running off. So he said the angle was hard. The second one, a lot of people told me they didn't think it was offside. I wasn't in line with it, so I'm not going to make judgment. It doesn't really matter now. You can always say, it could have been a different thing, but as I said, hindsight and everything could have been different if we'd done this, or if that had happened. So that we had a few chances and we started creating things throughout, but that end they were extremely good at what they did. And even the players you look at that are coming on are very, very good players for this level, and they will take some stopping. And to be fair, from the way they are as a club, good luck to them, and I hope they do go up there and start challenging.
We went into this game on the back of 4 games, one of which is against side bottom of the table, the other 3 against mid-table sides. We didn't win any of them. We've now come up against the side in the playoff places, been thrashed. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. The form guide was looking good before today, because we're in the top half of it, and we were bottom of it just as we came in. So the form guide was looking good, and as I said, you can dress it up either way. You didn't win any of them, but you'd lost 1 game in 7. So whatever way, people can spin things in every way, and they want to look at it. But we obviously addressed it as that we hadn't won those last 4, but we'd drawn 3 of them, so we hadn't lost the games, and before that we'd won 2. So it wasn't a bad run considering you've got to look at where we were before. But now, as I said, I can't big next week up any more than it, especially because of who it's against. You can't big it any more, and we've said no, we have to win the game. We have to win the game. There's no 2 ways about it, and the best thing will be is a reaction. You know, I'm quite big on you don't get too high with the high and don't get too low with the lows, and you know, this is definitely a low thing. But we're going to have to next week. We have to be ready for that now and apply ourselves properly.
Those 3 draws in 4 games, they didn't actually help us an awful lot, did they? There's too many drop points. There's 1 point for a draw, doesn't help you a lot. And when you see Weston-super-Mare and Basingstoke won today, that drives that point home.
Yeah. I mean, results didn't go your way, but you can't. This is the thing. You can't rely on other people. You have to do your job, and we didn't do our job. And you know, they won. I don't get too put down about them winning because that's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do about them going and winning games. They've obviously done what they needed to do today. We didn't. That puts us in a position where you know things need to change quickly, and you know the reaction will be Saturday, and we have to go and now look at Saturday and hopefully find something different than today and from a few performances ago that from 3 weeks ago, and we have to bring that out there because if we do, we'll win the game. If we don't and we turn up like this, then it'll be a different story. But you know the calibre of what we're playing next week is different. We have to be honest about that. But at the same time, hopefully our level has to be a lot higher than it was today.
The line-up today, Darren Locke came in for Gerard Johnson. Is Gerard injured? Because he didn't even come on when Darren went off injured at half-time.
Gerard had a knock on Monday and didn't train. We looked beforehand again, airily they had conceded in their last 5 games from corners. So